Okay, sorry. Hello everyone, it's Salar and welcome back to the part 4 of this tutorial. In this tutorial, we wanted to find out how can we use OTP RTOS in STM32 Cube ID. In previous part, I implemented a simple example and blinking LED by using of the RTOS, by using a one thread. But in this part, I want to give you another example by using of threads. In this part, I want to write some string in serial port by using of printf function and useart. By using of useart port on my microcontroller and printf, I want to write some string in the COM port. But before to implementing this example, we need to configure useart1 in the port, in the microcontroller. Here, first open STM32 So first, to use COM port on my development board, I need to configure useart1 in asynchronous mode. Okay, and baud rate is here. Okay, 115 bits per second. Okay, and after that, you must change the configuration of PA9 to useart1tx. Okay, to transfer a string to the computer in this pin. Okay, and regenerate the code. Okay, now the code has been regenerated and useart1 has been configured. Okay, but after configuration of useart1, you must implement _write function. If you want to use printf to write your string, to send your strings, you need to implement this function. You can find a lot of information about this function on the internet, but at this time I give you a simple implementation of this function. Please hold you and implement the function here. Before this part, user code and info. This is a simple implementation of this function, and printf use this function to send a string by using of useart. Okay, but you can find a lot of much more better implementation than this implementation, but this is a simple implementation and it's enough for this example. Okay, but you can find some other implementations that are more complicated and much more better. Okay, but it's not important at this time. It's not important, and this implementation is enough. After implementing of this function, you must create your threads. I've created two threads, thread 1 and thread 2. And this is the thread functions, thread function 1 and thread function 2. And here I've created my threads, thread function. Or thread 1 with priority normal and thread 2 another time with priority normal. And this is the implementation of thread functions. first in thread 1 I want to print this value, thread 1, each 500 milliseconds, half second. But in thread function 2 I want to print this value, thread 2, each 2000 milliseconds, each 2 seconds. Okay, but let's build the project and debug the code. Now the code is built with no error and no warnings. Okay, now let's debug and write the flash of microcontroller. Okay, now the code is in debug mode, but before starting the code, let's open a terminal. You can use this terminal in Linux Qtcom. Change setting, set the baud rate. Okay, and open and clear the screen at the first stop before the running. Okay, now I can start the code. You can see the output here, but let's stop the printing. You can see you have 4 times of printing thread 1, but 1 times of printing thread 2. Another time, 4 times of sending thread 1, but just 1 time of thread 2. Because my code each 500 millisecond print thread 1, but each 2000 millisecond thread 2. Here is 4 times more because the delay is smaller than this delay is smaller than this delay. Okay, so here was another example. Thank you very much to see me, and see you soon in the next part.